Hello, 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 everybody. Um, don't have plans to be before you long tonight. Just wanted to get on and do a check-in. It's the beginning of the month. See how everybody doing. Make sure you guys are okay and all that good stuff. Waiting to see if the co-host is gonna be able to come on or not. Checking in with everybody to see how you guys are doing. Make sure everybody is well. And then I'm going to get off. So, um, I just want to say that we are walking into the month of grace, which is May. And I hope that everybody month is starting off well. I know that mine is. I'm tired, but I'm tired in a good way. I've done a lot since the month came in, and being very productive this month. So I got a lot going on. Um, I am super excited about what God is doing and where things are going and how He's moving in people's lives and everything that He's just doing. He's working things out behind the scenes. He's moving in ways that people have never seen Him move before. Um, And even with that, I know a lot of people say that, right now for them this month. Hey Simone, how you doing, sweetheart? I know a lot of people are already telling me that this month for them won't be the same because of Mother's Day. A lot of them have lost their mothers. I am one of those people. My mother is no longer living, so I get it. I understand. But there are people around me that even though my mother is gone, have not necessarily stepped into a mother's role, but they have just stepped up and kind of been there for me, um, in ways that I can't even really imagine. And I love them for it. And I thank them. Um, I have plans on, honoring some folks on Mother's Day. And I'm looking forward to that because I'm looking forward to just being able to do that. Um, I'm a firm believer in honoring people while you have time because life is short. Just woke up Sunday morning to my sister calling me and telling me that somebody passed away. Um, that everybody had just went and spent time with the weekend before. And so life is short and you need to just really learn how to love on people and appreciate people while you have an opportunity to. Because the time won't be here where you'll be able to sit back and say, well, I wish I could have or I should have, and things of that nature. Do it while you have time to do so, you know. Um, I'm actually looking forward to Mother's Day because I get a chance to spend it with um people that I care about. I'll be with my auntie, I'll be with my sisters. So, I I am expecting to have a really good grand time um over the weekend in church and all that good stuff. Saturday before Mother's Day is our family reunion. I haven't been to one of our family reunions in a really long time, but I'm looking forward to going to seeing everybody, um, and just spending time with people. So, um, but what I can say is that um, God has been very good to me, and He really has graced me. Um, in this season to be able to handle some things, endure some things, go through some things. He really has graced me with being able to bounce back from things that people really thought I wasn't going to bounce back from. Um, I'm watching him do new things in me. Um, I'm watching him take me to places where I thought I couldn't be and that I would never be. I've been in rooms and been able to sit at tables that on a normal basis I probably wouldn't even be invited to. Um, but I have been on rosters to be at tables in rooms in this season, just because God is good, like that, of no doing of my own, but all his doing. And so I got up here to pretty much say this, is that don't disqualify yourself because you feel that you're not ready for something. We have been in a preparation season since maybe October, maybe even a little before October of last year. We have been in a preparation season to get us prepared and ready for our next. And our next is here and our next is now, right? Um, and we have to be ready to go with the next, no matter what they may be. And I know that some of us may not like the preparation stage, right? And it's part of the process, and we got to be ready for the process. Um, the preparation stage is a good place to be because in the preparation stage, you find out a lot about yourself, right? You find out a lot about who you really are. You find a lot about the things that you really need to get rid of, things that you really need to be delivered from. If you ain't fully delivered, you find out a lot, right? In your preparation, in your place of preparation. And um now don't get me wrong. I said preparation is a part of the process. I did not say that your preparation is your process. I said it's a part of the process. So just know that that's a part, that's a key factor in your processing time is your preparation stage. You have to know where you are in your preparation stage. Are you at the beginning of your preparation where you just now learning and God is opening your eyes and showing you where you are and where he needs you to be? Or are you coming out of your preparation stage and get ready to walk into the purpose of that next level of where you're supposed to be? You know, God's been dealing with me about expansion of territories and um what's going to happen within the next 3 to 6 months, things like that, right? Um, and only you know where you are in life, and only you know where you are trying to be. But in the midst of where you are trying to be, does it add up with His will for you, right? And I realized that in the midst of where I would like to be, um, He actually has greater for me than what I see, right? And the Bible tells us that eyes have not seen, nor has ears heard, nor has it entered into the heart of man what he has in store for us, right? Um, and if you listen to that particular scripture, just that part by itself, the eyes have not seen, nor have the ears heard, nor has it entered into the heart of man the stuff that he has in store for us, the places that he wants us to go, the places that he wants us to be, the things that he wants us to do are so grand that even though it's meant for us, we can't even fathom it. It's so much that he has in store that we don't even understand it. We can't fathom it. We can't. What you see now is nothing compared to where he's really trying to take you. I now understand what certain scriptures have been trying to say to me for a long time, where he says, launch yourself into the deep. You know, I really realized what that scripture actually meant this year. And you know how many times I read that scripture? Multiple times about launching yourself into the deep. Um, and I now know exactly what it means to launch myself into the deep, to go after those things that I thought that I could not have. I told y'all on one of my previous shows that I was one of those people that was afraid of being successful because I knew that with success, it more responsibility was coming. And at that time, I was just like, am I really in a place where I'm able to handle the responsibility of what's coming if I really get up and do what he called for me to do and set out for me to do? Am I ready to handle the responsibilities that come with it? At that particular time, I was not. But now I am, because I'm in a whole different place in my life. I got a whole nother mindset working right now, and I got tunnel vision. So in the midst of me taking the time out to still help other people um get their visions rolling, I have been doing my things, behind the scenes. And the Lord dealt with me about what is to come for me, and I've been saying to be announced, to be continued for a while. And that's because it is to be announced, to be continued, because my it does not stop here. The ball does not stop and drop right here. Everything is to be continued, because that means that there's a continuation to follow. That means if it's to be announced, that means I got something else coming that I have to announce, right? And so I'm at that place in my life where I know more is coming and more is required, and I am ready for it. Um, and I mean with all aspects of my life, not just career change and all of that. I mean, all aspects of my life. I know that more is required, more things are coming, and I'm ready for that. Um, I thank God because He is doing a great work. And when I say He's doing a great work, I mean He's doing a great work. He's doing some things behind the scenes that if I was to tell you the story, you would not understand. Um, and He's just been blowing my mind right here lately, right? Um, and I'm happy about that. I mean, I have been able to smile and laugh, and I've been able to function better than I have in quite some time. Um, don't get me wrong, I'm not totally out of the park yet, but he's still doing a great work to where I can do more than what I was able to do before. Um, And, I take every day in stride. Every day is still different for me. And I take every day in stride and I take it for what it is. And I don't try to push myself. I don't try to overdo it. When I feel like I'm overdoing it, I calm myself down, I sit myself down and I go rest myself. And then I get up and I start over again and I try it again. Right. Um, and so, I want you guys to know and learn the seasons that you're in and know where you are. I don't want anybody to miss their process, and I don't want anybody to miss their next level um, of where God is trying to take them. All because you are shortchanging yourself. Do not be your own worst enemy in this season. We are our own, they tell us all the time that we are our own worst critics, right? And baby, let me tell you, it's a true statement for me because I am my own worst critic. I do like for things to be done certain types of ways. I do like that if I give you a resource, I want you to use the resource. Um, and not come back to me 4 days later. What did you say? Da 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 da. That means you didn't listen to me the first time I gave it to you. You know, um, And I like for people to utilize resources that are out there for them. You know, a lot of people um, have asked me, you know, why did I wait to further who I was or to further what I'm doing in business? And that's because I had to. I had to get to a certain place where it was okay for me to do so. And I had to get to a certain place in my health to where I knew I would be okay to be able to function, to do what he has called me to do, and to be equipped to do it. You know, there are some things that I still had to learn, some licenses that I had to get, some certifications that I had to do, and it's been a lot. Um, it's been a lot since September of last year, but I bless the Lord that everything is finally coming together. Um, and I'll be able to share and tell you guys about it really, really soon. Right. Um, I am super excited at just about the expectation that I have in God, the expectation that I have with him and what I expect of him, right? And so because I know I expect of him, he expects of me. And with that being said, I'm ready to do whatever it is that he wants to do. Um, and so because he has an expectation of me, I have to follow through with his expectation of me. Um, with that follow through, a lot of changes have come. Um, I walked away from a lot of things. Um, can I say that some of them were hard to walk away from? Yes and no. I knew that it was needed, but you know, I was the one that was holding up the timing of a thing. And so, you know, I am here to make sure that everybody is getting what they need. I want to see people move forward. I want to see people go forward in life, and I want to see people be able to have the things that um they can have, right? Because we serve a God that is the provider of all. um there's nothing that he will withhold from us. The Bible tells us that there's no good thing that he would withhold from us, right? Um, and I truly believe that. I truly believe he won't withhold anything that is good for me and that is actually for me. Now, if it's not good for me or if it's not for me, I don't believe that I'll receive it, right? But if it's good for me, I know that I'll get it. How you doing, Miss Diane? Nice to have you in with us. Please feel free to like, share, and comment as much as you like. Um, and there's nothing that he will withhold from us, especially not in this season, not in this hour, not at this time, because this is our time to grow and this is our time to move to the next thing. So, um, with that being said, the question tonight that I have for everybody watching and for the ones that I know will watch the replay later is, are you truly ready for your next level? And if your answer to that is yes, then what have you been doing to get yourself to the next level? Right? This season, this year, ever since the year has come in, I have done something that I normally actually don't do. Um, and I've made a lot of investments in myself this year, um, to get where I need to be, to go where I need to go. And I've been moving silently, not doing a whole lot, putting it out in the forefront for people to see because I wanted to wait until it manifested and then share it after it manifested, right? So because I know that God is going to get the glory first and foremost, because I'm going to give him his due diligence, because it is because of him that all of these wonderful things are happening and will be. So I'm asking you tonight, are you really ready for your next level? And if you are, can you tell me what you feel like your next level looks like? And so for me, my next level is going from where I am now to a place where I'm able to help anybody that I want to help. Going from a place that I'm at now to being a resource tower for people, which I kind of sort of already am that, right? But trying to be a place of resource where you can help everybody else get where they need to go, be able to provide the resources or answers to things that people have been looking for, wanting and needing, those type of things. Then next after that, we expand yourself to where you say, okay, now that I provide the resource, I need to be able to be a source, right? And so that's the next thing, is being able to be a source. I'm not saying the source, but a source. That means a part of being able to provide things, to be able to provide options for people to be able to do what they need to do. And especially our people, minority folks that don't necessarily have the same source and options that other people do. Um, a lot of what I'm working on is just to be able to provide things to folks, period, point blank, um, and to help people get better, right? And so uh, I'm excited. I'm excited. You know, it's so much that's going to be happening within the next 3 months that, you know, my being tired right now is nothing compared to what's coming, because it'll be a good tired, because I'm being productive and I'm handling business and doing what I have to do. So, um, understanding where you are, again, as I stated upon coming in, we're in the month of grace. So he has given us grace, double grace, you know, to be able to come into the month of May, which is going to bring miracles, signs, and wonders, and resource upon resource, to all the people who hearken to what he says, to all of the people that are listening, you know, and going above and beyond to better who they are. And that's my thing about where I am in life is, I'll help you if you're trying to better yourself. But if your talk game is good, but there's no action behind the talk, I can't do it this year. I'm sorry. You know, talking is wonderful, but action is needed in this season. So, putting things to work, making things work, getting things done, getting things out. You got a product you're trying to start. Okay, get the patent so nobody else can use it. Find out what you got to do to get your product on the shelf, who you got to get it in front of, who you need to talk to, who you need to show the bid to make things happen. Let's make it work. If you don't know how to do that, okay, fine. Let's deal with trademarks. Let's get our trademarks. Let's get the copyrights to every brand that you are trying to make happen, right? And all of this good stuff. You know what I mean? These are the things that we need to be working on. If you got a brand and you got some stuff that you're trying to do, let's get it done. If you don't know how to do it, I promise you there's somebody out there that can teach you, that won't charge you an arm and a leg to do it. They're gonna, give you resources that they can give you to help you get started. And then if you need to use them as a mentor or a coach, utilize it. Pay for the services, because it, you have to invest in yourself somewhere, sometime, right? And if getting a mentor or a coach that's already where you're trying to be, I don't see a problem in that. Now, it's a difference if the person that you're talking about is on the same level as you, then, not so much. you know. But if you have a mentor or a coach that's where you're trying to be, um, do what you got to do and invest in yourself. Learn whatever you got to learn that's going to catapult you to your next place. No stagnation. It ain't no procrastination happening this year. We're not doing it. That's old. That was last year. That was 2022, 2021, 2020 even. And we're back. We bypassed all that. So let's move on and let's move forward, right? Also, the one thing that we don't like to do is we don't like to move on and move forward from people. But if you realize that in your wonderful little circle of people that you call your friends, if none of them are moving forward and they ain't really doing nothing, and all of y'all on the same level all the time, ain't nobody trying to grow, ain't nobody trying to get bigger and better, I believe you might be in the wrong circle of people. Okay. I got friends that own businesses. I got friends that do real estate. I got friends that deal with money. I got friends that, do all types of stuff. And so, at the end of the day, we all glean from each other. Let's talk. Tell me what's new. Tell me what's new that's happening in the world that I need to know so I know not to put my funds over here. Tell me where I need to put my funds so that my funds can multiply and grow. Tell me what I need to do, right? That's where my head is at right now. That's the only thing I'm thinking about. At the end of the day is growing. No more stagnation, no more procrastination, not in no vocabulary. And it's not something that I'm gonna sit back and do. And I definitely ain't finna sit back and watch somebody else do it. If that's what you want to do, have fun with that. I'm gonna leave you to yourself. Because I know that there's greater and better for you. And you should know that for yourself. So, um, let me ask you this question, you guys. What was your last investment into yourself? When was your last investment into yourself? Have you ever invested in yourself? Or are you just seeding and sowing money everywhere else, but not into you? Have you invested into yourself? If you did, what was your last investment into yourself? That's what I'm asking. And if I have anybody that wants to come into the live tonight, please inbox me, send me a message, and I'll send you the link to pop you on. Because I don't mind having you on for you to come on camera with me for you to talk about it. So, but I need to know what was your last investment into yourself? What was the last thing you invested in concerning you? Because right now it's all about the moves that you're making. Are you making moves that's gonna point you forward, or are you making moves that are unwise? Because the Bible tells us that with all you're getting, get understanding and wisdom. So are you using those two items concerning yourself? And so, you know, my investments into myself lately have been um I've kind of almost changed my whole closet wardrobe out to be able to um be business casual and kind of dressed up and ready to go at all times, right? Um my next investment was completing certifications, getting certifications done. So, I'm in classes and stuff like that, getting certifications done and making moves. Then my other investment in myself was making sure that I worked very hard to get my health back on track. And so that's my other investment is working that. That's been my biggest investment is getting my health in order. Um, my other investment in myself is having a deeper relationship with God and really just understanding what He wants for my life and out of my life. Um, is going back to the way I used to be when it came down to me and God. Like, man, I would be in the Word so much and study so much. Everybody would ask me, "Is there anything else I did?" Right, and so I make sure that I study all the time. I got notebooks and notebooks on top of notebooks full of me studying and writing down what He has given me, writing the visions down, and all that good stuff. So I make sure I keep that stuff where I can see it. That hasn't put me in a great place. Okay, so you said to be honest with me, you have done something that hasn't put you in a great place. Okay, what do you mean? Are you able to come? Are you able to come up on the live if I send you the link? That way you can explain to me what you mean. Y'all excuse me for a moment. Let me send this link out. See if we could get some people up here on the live with us tonight. Okay, I just sent you the link. If you able to come on up. So while we're waiting to see if she's able to get in, you guys, I want to hear from y'all. I want to hear what you've done or what you're not doing and why you still procrastinating and why you're choosing not to go for it, right? Um, I I just need to know because I'm concerned that you will put yourself in a place that'll put you behind time, put you behind your scheduled place, your scheduled time to be, all because you are not, um, you're not doing anything. You know, it's really time to get up off your keister, what we call your do nothing and do something, right? It's time to get up and get moving. Um, and trust me, y'all, if I can get up and get moving, oh, I know y'all can get up and get moving. My body don't always like me, y'all. Have to be honest with you, most of the day, most of every day, it don't like me. And it don't like the fact that I'm striving to be better. When your body starts trying to go down on you per se, um, or it's been one way for a certain length of time, it doesn't like the fact when you start to make changes to try to be better. Okay. Let me just tell you about that. Your body will fight against itself um at times because it just doesn't like what you're doing. Like I told y'all, I went from a state of not moving a lot or not being able to move a lot to doing a lot more now. And my body don't like it when I move around. When I over my body will tell me quickly that it feels like I have overdone something. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How you doing, ma'am?
Hey, I'm good.
And my body would try to tell me quickly that you have overdid it. But in that, like I told you, I have learned to have wisdom. And when it does that, I will slow myself down and I will go rest myself until I get better. So what I'm doing is, and thanks Simone for coming on with me. So I asked earlier, what investments have you made into yourself? If you have made any investments into yourself, and if you have not made any, what is the reason behind why you have chosen not to invest into yourself to get yourself um, prepared and ready for your next level in life? So I noticed that you had put that you had done something that hasn't put you in a great place. So explain to me what you meant.
So this is concerning work. I hope everybody can hear me. Haven't made the greatest decisions as far as work is concerned. Not as far as like choosing the jobs, but as far as like what I do in the jobs. Like as far as like my choices. Okay. Um. So I have. I'm just gonna come out and say it. I have been caught stealing at several of my jobs. So,
Okay.
huh?
Okay. I'm listening.
So that's why I said I've done something that hasn't put me in the greatest position because it hasn't. So right now I am just trying to sit with myself and figure out, why I'm doing this and, you know, where where is it taking me? Which right now honestly I'm realizing nowhere. And so I'm trying to work on that. And as far as I'm working on accountability and, making sure that I know that what I'm doing is wrong and trying to make it right.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. What led up to you making the decision to do that?
Um, Sorry about that. Um, to be honestly, not spending properly, not using the money wisely, like the money that I already have, not using that the right way. Like just literally like spending it on every single thing that I really don't need.
Okay, so sounds like to me you need to sit down with somebody that can help you budget and
Hmm.
can help you get your finances in order.
Hmm.
Right? Now, if you had access to those resources, would you utilize them?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So get with me after the show and I'll make sure you got those resources. Okay.
Got
Um now um because of who you are, you know,
Yeah, I was
um
just about to
and
say that.
I'm going there on a spiritual note. Because of who you are, you already know that yeah, that put you in a very bad spot.
Yeah.
Right. Um and nothing that you have to explain to me,
Hmm.
but you gotta explain that to God
Hmm.
as to why. Right. Um so going forward, if you have a need for anything, I would rather have you reach out for the need
Hmm.
than to do that. You catch what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And because it's better to function that way than to do things in that manner and it end up putting you in a place where you're now in court
Yeah.
and you ain't got no freedom.
Yeah.
You catch what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because your freedom is worth everything. You see what I'm saying? You don't want to be you don't need that, and that's not your portion. You understand what I'm saying to you? Um, So I don't want you to feel like because it's not something that you had to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's something you chose
Mm-hmm.
to do, right? And so I'm glad that you know the difference, and I'm glad that you said, you knew it was wrong, because you got people that do that and feel like it's not. This is what they do. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we like to call them kleptos, and that's what they do. Everywhere they go, something gonna come up missing and just gonna walk out the store with them, and they didn't pay for it. You know, and that's not a good place to be, because you just took something out of somebody else's mouth, right? And so I need you to understand that where God is wanting to take you, you have to put yourself in proper position. You have to maintain that position. If you do anything else than maintain that position, you will throw yourself off by years of what he has in store for you. Because I don't know if you heard me say it right before you came up on the live, is
Mm-hmm.
that if you choose to make the wrong decision, you could throw yourself behind time.
Yeah.
And when I tell you playing catch up ain't fun.
Mm-hmm.
Playing catch up ain't fun. Because when you are behind time and you feel like you gotta try to make it up, it's a lot. It's a lot. And God got so much in store for you that I don't want to see you miss the mark.
Yeah.
I do not want to see you miss the mark. Right now, I don't have to tell you that the enemy is trying to sift you like wheat. We all know that that's his job. That's one of his MOs, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he's doing it because he realized what you are. He realizes who you are. He realizes what you hold and what you possess. The enemy don't come after something that's empty.
Yeah.
He has no use for that. He comes after the ones that don't know what they possess, though.
Yeah.
Um, because if you don't understand who you are, you don't understand what you are and whose you are, then he could do a whole lot because you're unaware.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that you are aware. You
Yeah.
may not be fully aware of who you are in God, but I also know you ain't no flunky,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So I'm saying that to you is because I need you to be wise in your decision making. I need you to really, really be wise in your decision making. Trust me. I know that things can get real tempting. I know that things can get hectic. I know that things might look like a struggle, but they don't have to be if you get wisdom and understanding behind the things you need to get wisdom and understanding behind. So if you get wisdom and understanding behind your finances, we ain't got to go through this no more. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so, when I point you in the direction that I'm going to point you in after the show, you have to be just as honest as you was coming up here to share that. You got to be honest about what you make, how you spend it, and all of that good stuff when you sit down to have that conversation, because that's important. That's how a person can help you not make that mistake when it comes down to your money. And that way you can have a cushion to fall back on, or a nice amount of savings to fall back on, so that you can do what you need to do. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So um
I have a
so
question.
back to go ahead.
Was you with somebody when you did that?
What do you mean?
Was you alone when you did it, or were you with someone?
Alone?
Okay. Just curious.
And so I'm gonna ask you again. Now, have you made any oh you went out. Wait a minute. Okay. Have you made
Did I do that or something else happened?
I'm not even sure, boo boo. No, it just know you went off. Um, have you made any investments into bettering yourself?
um,
And it's okay if it's no.
not really. Yeah, no, not really.
Okay.
No.
All right. So my next question is why not?
Um, to be honest, the real reason is fear.
Of
A lot.
Prospering.
fear of the unknown?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what does the Bible tell us about fear?
He didn't give us fear. Well,
Mm-hmm.
he didn't give us a spirit of fear.
Mm-hmm. But of what?
Power, love, and a sound mind.
Okay. All right. So with that being said, and the fact that you know it, that means you need to tell yourself that and you need to invest in you so you can move forward. What is it about the fear of moving forward that is an issue for you?
Um, just afraid of not being able to do things well. Like whatever I do, not being able to do it well.
Okay, but who would tell you that you're not doing it well besides yourself?
Some people a little bit maybe. Some people maybe. No.
Okay. Okay. All right. So if I said, okay, I'm gonna give you homework to do for the month of May. And with that homework, by the time we get to the fourth Monday in the month of May, you have to come back and you got to come back up here and you got
Okay.
to tell me if you completed the homework.
Okay.
Right now, that homework is going to consist in Simone investing in Simone.
Okay.
Right,
Uh huh.
and I'm serious. It's going to consist of you investing in you to move forward, to get out of the stuck place that you in, and to get out of your comfort zone because that's part of your issue. Right, you
Mhm.
got such a comfort zone. It's like if it was your baby blanket. If somebody took the blanket, you have a whole problem. Right, and
Mhm.
so you got to get out of your comfort zone. Okay, and so I'm gonna give you homework, and I expect the homework to be completed. Now, if you don't complete it, I know that should tell you a lot about yourself, but it's also gonna tell me a whole lot. Okay,
Mhm.
so I have, not to say that I set high expectations of people, but I expect God to do
Mhm.
more than you can do.
Mhm.
You know what I'm trying to say? Okay.
You said the
So,
fourth Monday in this month.
yep, the last Monday of the month. Yep. So that is your completion date by the
Okay.
fourth Monday in this month.
Okay.
Okay. So um after the show is over, we're gonna have a conversation. You're gonna tell me some of the things that you have been wanting to do, some things that you have been wanting to work on, and we're gonna go from there.
Okay.
Okay. Now, as far as go ahead, as far as who you are, and I don't just mean in the natural, but who
Mhm.
you are also in the spirit realm. Do you know
Mhm.
who that person is yet?
Do I know who I am in the spirit?
Hmm.
Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Um, yes.
Okay.
Um, like you said, not completely, but yes.
Not completely, but yes. Okay. So tell me who you are.
I am chosen. I am the apple of his eye. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am. What is it? I know what I'm trying to think. More than conqueror. I am victorious. I am. Um, I know it. I know it. It's one word I can't think of, but I know it. Um, yeah.
Okay. So out of everything you just said, do you believe what you said?
Yes.
Okay. So you know I asked you that for a reason, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
So now you say you know who you are in the spirit.
Mhm.
Those are your spiritual attributes. But
Mhm.
who has he called you to be?
Oh, that part. Okay. I think I'm trying to still figure out the difference between the two. Is there like a distinctive? I mean, of course, there's a distinctive difference between the two, but like, what exactly do you mean?
Okay, so in the spirit realm, I know all of my attributes. But as far as who he has called me to be, I know he has called me to be his mouthpiece. I
Mhm.
know he has called me to go forth and carry out what he said
Mhm.
in the ways that he tells me to carry it out, right?
Mhm.
So, and for the ones that don't know, and then for the ones that do know, I have been ordained for years, right? Um, but I've never been big or heavy on using the title.
Mhm.
Never been my thing.
Mhm.
So only people that know me and know me like that will use my title when they see me in a
Mhm.
church setting. But most people just call me Coco. Or depending on how they look at me. If it's like a young adult, a lot of them will call me Mama Coco. Some of them will call me Auntie Coco. But they'll call me Coco.
Mhm.
But if it's another leader that knows me, most of the time they might actually call me by my title when I
Mhm.
walk inside a building. But I don't. It's not something that I choose to use, right?
Yeah.
Um, and it's funny because another leader actually had a conversation with me about a week ago, maybe.
Mhm.
It could have been over a week ago, where she actually said, "I'm going to ask you your title because I don't want to disrespect you."
Mm.
And she was like, "Because I know your name, but that's not the title. I need to know your title." And so I told her what my title was. I said, "But I would just prefer you to call me Coco or call me by my first name."
Okay. So, question.
And she said, "I'll do that from time to time." She said, "But I'm going to prefer to use your title." And so I caught what she said and I understand why she said it. You know what I'm saying? Um, so go ahead, ask your question.
When you said when she said what I'm gonna ask you your title, but what is your name? Like, is she referring to like in the natural sense or both, or like what does that mean?
No, she knew my name in the natural, but
Hmm.
she wanted to know my title as far as who I was or what I was in as far as leadership was concerned.
Oh, okay, okay.
And so when I told her what my title was, I said, I've been ordained as a prophetess for a long time.
Hmm.
I said, but it's not a title that I choose to use.
Like parade
You
around,
know?
yeah,
And it's, I have my reasons.
yeah,
Um, and most of the time it's because people like to when they know that they like to pull on it, and I don't like being pulled,
yeah.
right? And so at the end of the day, um, there's no doubt that I know who I am. Why does it keep kicking her out like that? Um,
All
I
right,
don't know.
Facebook, you don't want me up here tonight?
Listen, I don't know what's happening, girl. Um, but there's no doubt, um, that I know who and what I am,
Mm-hmm.
right? But if you would have asked me a couple years ago, I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't have been so sure. Why? Because other people try to make me doubt that
Yeah.
that's who I was. And the reason being is because when the Lord go tell you to start telling people that are in leadership, and that at that time I was not a leader, um, they go start telling them stuff. They don't want to hear what you got to say,
Okay.
because to them you are less than them, you are lower than them, and how dare you try to come tell them, something about them
Okay,
that
can you break that down
you
just a
know.
little bit more?
Okay, so at the time, God has always dealt with me concerning leaders,
Yeah.
right? And at the time, I didn't understand it, and I didn't know why,
Uh-huh.
right? And so I have always been called to leaders that are in leadership.
Okay.
Um, and because when I started out as an armor bearer. You know, I learned how to armor bear real good,
Mm-hmm.
and not just naturally. The
Mm-hmm.
armor bearer, who you are as an armor bearer, ain't just the position you hold in the natural. It's
Mm-hmm.
who you are in the spirit realm as an armor bearer that really holds weight,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because as an armor bearer, you take a lot of hits that are for the person that you are
Right.
watching over,
Right.
and you have to be prepared for that in the spirit
Wouldn't that
realm
be in
and
the
the
same?
natural.
What I don't mean to cut you off. Wouldn't that be in the same sense of the intercessor? Like you're taking the hits that are coming towards them because you're standing in the gap.
Kind of, sort of, but just differently. So, in intercession, you pray for everybody,
Yeah.
but when you are an armor bearer, your position is to, you know, pretty much
Literally bare the arms. Yeah.
secure that leader,
Yeah.
right? Or leaders,
Yeah.
per se. And so you take hits that are directly meant for them,
For them. Yeah.
right? And a lot of times, because you are the closest thing to them, you're not only taking the hits that's meant for them, but you also take hits that's meant for the ministry
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
well. So you get a double whammy
Yeah.
on top of, everything that you already
Already
doing.
dealing with right.
And so not only are you dealing with their stuff, but you're
You're
dealing with
dealing
your
with
own
your
stuff.
own personal stuff. Yeah.
Right. And so at the end of the day, it comes from a different setting as to where when you get in the armor bearer role is not for you to get close to the leader to learn their business. To where when you get in the
Mm-hmm.
armor, that's not what the armor bearer role is for. And
Mm-hmm.
some people that choose to become armor bearers, that's their reason behind doing it. They want to
Just
get
yeah.
close to the
Yeah.
leader.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and that's not the reason to become an armor bearer.
Yeah.
That's you got the wrong
And I
intent.
think it's I think that's the reason why a lot of these people are calling them like they are trying to get these other titles too.
Yeah, and
Just to
it's a lot of that because they either, I mean, a lot of people feel like, when they get titles, prestige and all this other stuff come with it. It don't. It really don't. Because once you take on the title, little do you know, belongs to you, since you feel like the title is so grand and it makes you somebody so great. It also now makes you a target.
that part.
And when you
I
become a
swear people
target,
take I swear people take titles to the head, like literally, like
yeah,
they feel like even in like the what you call it, the 9 to 5 world or however y'all say it,
mhm,
like people literally like take their titles to the head and just like they literally like overdo it.
yeah. And but it also makes you a target
Yeah.
in the spirit realm. I mean, it makes you a target in the natural realm
Period.
too, because
Yeah.
you're gonna always have somebody coming for what you got,
Yeah.
right? And so, but in the spiritual realm, we're talking about some really heavy duty stuff,
Mhm.
right? There's a lot that comes behind the offices of certain titles.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
And
Which is why I'm not too fond of titles either.
if you're not careful, you bring stuff on yourself that you are not ready to deal with.
That part.
Right. Um. So
Which is
with
why
that being,
I'm literally okay with being an usher. I
even with that,
Ushers get hit
ushering
too.
is a job.
mean, yeah, I understand that, but
You
I'm not
know,
like,
I mean, but even with that, ushering is a job
yeah,
because everybody ain't equipped for that either.
that
Mm-mm.
part,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? To be honest, everybody ain't equipped for that. I have seen people set up to be ushers, and honey, they didn't need to be that because they let everybody hit the floor.
Oh Lord,
That's not
I've seen it too. Oh my gosh,
that was not their portion.
no,
And
no,
having greeters at the door. If you have an attitude problem, do not put that type of person as a greeter at your
come
front.
on,
It's a lot, and people just like to slam people into places because they like, you said you wanted to be useful, so I'm just
and
gonna
I
put
need
you
you right now.
right here. I'm
Yeah,
just gonna put you right here, knowing that that person is not equipped for what you just set them up for.
yeah,
But to God be the glory for some of the people.
right.
Um, so what I'm saying is, when I ask you if you know what He has called you to be, do you know what He has called you to be? And if you do, are you afraid of it? And is that the
Um,
reason why you're not walking into it?
see, I have a strong ministry for children. Like I really like my heart really hurts to see these babies like either killing themselves or killing each other. And I'm not just the babies, I'm just like people in general, but specifically like my generation, it's very scary. So I really like when I see things as concerning when I see things concerning my generation, like all these suicide attempts and all this school shootings and all this stuff, it really like tears me apart, like, and it's scary. So, and I think that's the part where I'm kind of afraid to walk into
Which
because
is which is what exactly?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. So that's the reason why I'm asking you. So being that you say you don't know, that means you're unsure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we have talked about this for a long time
Mm-hmm.
about knowing who and what you are. We've been
Mm-hmm.
talking literally since we have started the whole podcast. That's been one of our main messages that we have always sent out.
Mm-hmm.
It's very important for you to know whose, and what you are.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes down to God, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so I tell you to take the time out to search Him and allow Him to search you so that you know, and so that you can be sure about it. Because you got to be confident in knowing. You can't be unsure about who you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be doing. I could tell you 1,000 ways to Sunday, but if you don't believe it, it ain't gonna mean nothing, right? And so you have to know who, who's, and what you are. Why you holding your mouth, Queen?
I'm just listening.
Come on with it, Quinn. I know you want it. I know it. Come on.
I'm literally just listening and taking it all in, and I'm just praying. That's all.
So I'm saying it to you because God is literally requiring more of you
Mm-hmm.
this year, right? But you have to, you got to get yourself in right position. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's good that you know the word, but I need you to get up every day with your whole armor on, ready to go. And that's not where you are yet, right? And
Okay.
so the whole thing is to do the work and get there. It takes work. I ain't gonna sit there and tell you that it's gonna be easy to do. No, 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 no. Walking this life out is not an easy thing. Why is it kicking my ass? I promise you, yo.
Seriously.
Listen, walking this life out is not an
The
easy
devil
thing.
is a lie. What?
Listen,
Serious.
I don't even know, but I can tell you this: that walking this out seriously is not an easy life.
Mm-hmm.
It is not an easy thing to do.
Phew.
It comes with its own problems and issues. Um,
I
and
agree.
the biggest thing is knowing that regardless of decisions you make,
Mm-hmm.
that you could go back to him and make them right.
Mm-hmm. That's the part that I'm kind of, that part, like literally that part right there is like sometimes gives me, like I know that, but in the back of my mind, it's like, and I'm learning how to, cast that out because I know that's the enemy. So, like I said, sometimes in the back of my mind, I know that, whatever I do, he's still going to love me. He's still going to, forgive me. But sometimes in the back of my mind, I'm like, dang, I did this again. Is
But
he, do he still love me? Like, do he still, and I know that's the enemy. So I'm working on, casting that down and,
so let me ask you this, Simone,
mhm.
because I don't think you're doubting him. I think you're doubting yourself. So it's actually, although he forgave you, did you forgive you?
Yeah, that's the part. Okay. Yeah.
So your doubt, because I watch you, I observe you, I listen to you. Your doubt is not the doubt of you doubting him. You trust him fully. Your doubt is you doubting you.
Hmm.
And
And
so
when you get,
the important part is you can use David as a prime example. David did a lot, but
oh,
even in his doing a lot, he
Hmm.
kept a heart of repentance,
Hmm.
right? And that's what got David as far as it did.
Hmm.
If he did not have a repentant heart, I believe that the Lord would have smited him long time ago
Yeah.
for a lot of the stuff that he
Facts.
did, you
Yeah.
mhm.
know. But because he kept a heart of repentance and God was always still first,
Yeah.
that's what got him as far as it did. So
Mhm.
that's the reason why I say to you, am I saying that, okay, yeah, you could go out and sin tomorrow, but you could come back and repent today and be cool? That's not what I'm saying to you.
Yeah.
What I'm saying to you is you know right from wrong. But when you mess up, you
Hmm.
still got an opportunity to make it right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And we all know that repenting means that you turn away from a
Yeah.
thing and
Yeah.
you don't go back to that thing. So if you say that you don't want to be a certain way anymore, you got to hold fast to what you're saying.
Exactly. And you have to realize that God don't come to condemn you. He comes to convict you.
Hmm.
But you have to forgive yourself. If you're holding that grudge, you can't heal from what you did. And you're holding the grudge against you.
Yeah.
So when you repent this time, truly turn away from it.
Right.
And that's the part I'm working on because honestly, I'm having a tendency of asking for forgiveness and doing it again.
Hence the reason why I said repentance means to turn away from.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so let me ask you this, because this is something that not only do me and Quint do it on a regular basis together, but this is something that, you know, the church that I'm under, we do it on a regular basis too. When is the last time you fasted?
Mm, mm.
Wow.
I don't necessarily understand the. I don't know how you say it. I mean, I know it means to abstain from food and things like that, but I don't necessarily understand the context of it. I guess if that makes sense.
Okay, so fasting is not just abstaining from food.
Yeah,
That's where people got it twisted.
yeah.
Okay, so let me help you out. Okay, so fasting one is what we use to break yokes, right? And to break things that only fasting and prayer can break.
Hmm.
Two is to put your flesh under suggestion so it'll stop doing what it's trying to do.
Hmm.
Because right now, with what you just said to us, that tells us that your flesh is in more control than your spirit man. And that's not the way to be.
And see, can I,
Mm.
I? I have a quick question. There is a root to why you do it. Have you gotten to that root? Do you even know why you're doing it?
Not necessarily.
It
It's a
started somewhere.
it's a generational thing though.
Hmm.
So you
And so
gotta be the
you
curse
gotta break
breaker.
you gotta break that generational curse because it's a generational thing. And so fasting does that. But fasting is not just abstaining from food.
Right.
So fasting, you fast from anything that will take your focus off of God.
Hmm.
Anything that will take your focus away from what you are trying to take to the Lord for Him to
Okay.
fix and break, right? That's what you fast from. You're not just staying away from food because anybody can choose not to eat.
Yeah.
Just because you chose not to eat, that don't mean you fasted,
Mm.
right? And so when you really choose to stay away from something, like right now, we are fat, we fasting for like the next few days or whatever. Um, and with that, I can't refrain from food because of health reasons.
Right.
So I abstain from other things when I'm fasting.
Right.
So during that time, I got worship music on all day. I'm walking around praying off and on all day when I'm not working. And, in the midst of that, my conversation is whatever, God wants it to be.
Hmm.
That's what it is. But my things that I choose not to do until after a certain time of the day, I don't really talk to a whole lot of people.
Oh.
Well, that's not something that I do. I
Okay.
don't do a whole lot of talking on the phone when I'm
Okay.
fasting. If you catch me, it's because it's past my fasting hour, and that's the reason why you caught me. Other than that, you ain't talking to me until I'm done. I'm serious, like for real. Other than
You
that,
want
you
to
ain't
not
talking to me
disturb.
until I'm done. Yeah, and it's not even that I put my phone on do not disturb. I just look at the phone and I'll send the person a message. I had to holler at you later,
Yeah.
And then if I tell a person I'm fasting, people that know me and know me well already know what that means. I'll talk to you after a certain time at night. There you
Hmm.
go. So, but fasting helps
Hmm.
and it does a lot for the spirit man. All right. And I can tell you now, if you haven't done it in a while or if you've never done it, your flesh ain't gonna like it. Your flesh gonna have a whole problem with you doing it. And it's gonna fight and it's gonna buck and it's gonna want to do a whole lot. But you have to have it in your mindset that there's something that I need to change. God, I know only you can fix it, and this is what I need. And you
I
gotta
want to do it. I just don't necessarily understand the concept of it. So I don't want to get into something that I'm not, like you said, get wisdom and understanding.
right.
So I don't want to just jump into it and be like, oh, I got this. I don't necessarily understand the concept of it.
Okay, well
So,
so that's why I'm trying to explain the concept. There are books that you can get for it too.
mhm,
Okay. And so I don't like to really take people into the books too much unless I know that they have actually fasted before at some point in time, but now they just might need to know that there are different types of fast that you can use to break certain things and break certain areas in your life.
mhm.
But that's a whole nother topic. So, like seriously, because there are different fasts that are for different things.
Okay.
So like most churches like to use the Daniel's fast.
Yeah.
The Daniel's fast actually literally has a purpose behind it. The Daniel's fast was actually used for healing back in the
Mhm.
day. And so now people just do it all the time.
Right.
That's their main go-to is the Daniel's fast. But there are different fasts for different things.
Most people
And
go
so
to the Daniel fast because they don't want to abstain from eating.
yeah, that
So
too.
they'll use
That too.
Oh,
that's
I
their
see what you
excuse.
mean. Because they
So
still get to eat, but they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
exactly.
the Daniel's fast is not a complete fast.
Yeah.
So the Daniel's fast, you can eat, but you have to refrain from certain types of food.
Hmm. Isn't it like
Okay.
a fruit and vegetable type thing?
Yeah.
Yes. But this is the problem even with that. A lot of people that claim they're fasting or doing the Daniel's fast is not actually fasting because fasting and prayer goes and believing goes together.
Right.
Meditating and receiving, it all goes together.
Hmm.
And they wonder why I'm on this Daniel fast. I've been fasting and I still ain't losing no weight. That's not the concept.
Right. They want to lose weight. Yeah.
That's not the concept.
Yeah.
And if you're fasting correctly, you will lose weight.
You're gonna lose weight. It is, trust me. And it's not even gonna be because you want to.
No,
It's
It's
because right.
because of what you're doing.
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And see, this is the thing. When you fast and fast for real, there are gonna be times where even if you are able to eat, you can't
You can't.
Mm.
because you really like literally you can lose all your appetite and it be really like hit or miss sometimes.
And
And
when I
then people gotta make you eat because I had to do it to Quinn all the time.
Oh man.
So, I
literally,
literally do.
Yikes.
I literally
literally,
have to pick up the phone or be like, "Excuse me, did you eat
Have you
today?"
eaten today? Oh my
Well, no, I ain't ate in the last 3 days. Don't make me kick you.
god.
Like that's what we have to do. Like for real, for real.
Don't
But
kick the
most of
Coco.
the
Don't
time,
do it.
when you fast and you fast for real, yeah, because weight drops off quickly. And it's not because you wanted it to. It's
Yeah.
because of what you're doing.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah. So that's
and
the
when
reason why I asked. Because if there's something that's happening in your flesh that you can't break, that's the way to break it. You understand?
Hmm.
And
but
so,
the fact that you came up here and you told your truth, you're going to be under attack
yeah.
because
I already
that's
knew that.
your steps to deliverance is not
Mhm.
being into denial and
Yeah.
admitting what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right.
So the enemy is mad
I,
right now.
I can see because he keeps shutting me off of here. I can. I
Literally.
already know that. He,
He
he keep
angry.
he keep taking me off the screen, so I already know that.
He is really angry. So I already know we cover you, but we really gonna have to cover you
Hmm.
because of where you're going. And because see the enemy won't mess with you if he already got you. He don't got no reason.
When you say that, what do you mean necessarily?
Like I told you, the enemy ain't gonna break into no empty house.
Oh, got it. That makes sense.
I told you it ain't about the things you say, it ain't about the things you do, but it's about what you possess.
Hmm. Hmm.
And because you don't fully know everything you possess, that's
Hmm.
what you're coming after.
And you carry a high anointing. And like you said, you have a passion for children, although you don't know where you're going with that. Children look up to you. And because it hurts your heart to see them go through, a lot of times when the enemy can't get you, he'll
I
get the
get them.
closest thing to you.
Yeah.
or what you really care about, he'll keep attacking because it's getting your attention.
But right now, his focus is you. And the reason being is because you don't know who you are.
Exactly. And you don't know what you possess, but you're highly anointed.
See, the thing that I tell people all the time is the enemy ain't after you, he after your future.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And because you don't know where you headed, that's the reason why he got you to the point now. But like, look, let me just keep making her mess up.
But what better way to captivate you? Because you messing up is messing with your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And he also knows that the more you mess up, it messes up your relationship with God too.
Hmm.
Right?
Because you condemn
Yes.
yourself.
Yeah, I see it. I see now where we're going with this. I see it.
So I'm gonna tell you what I did. Now, am I telling you to do the same thing I did? That's not what I'm telling you. I'm gonna tell you what I did.
Don't laugh.
Um, when I was in the same place you are now,
Mm-hmm.
years ago,
Mm-hmm.
I asked God, I said, God, I need you to give me a spirit of conviction.
Mm-hmm.
But when I get ready to do something that's gonna step me outside of your will, I need you to convict me. Right? That's what I asked for.
Yeah.
And he did just that. Every time I had a thought about doing something that wasn't right, honey, did it come and come quickly. And a lot of times it didn't even come to it came from somebody that would be like, the Lord said, don't you go do what you had in your brain to go do.
Oh.
It would be strangers that would just walk up to me and just say that.
Oh.
And I wouldn't go
Well, I
do it.
guess that's why they say you be careful what you ask for.
Yeah. So, and literally, because it would just be strangers that would walk up to me. They did not know me. I did not know them. The Lord told me to tell you, don't go do what you had in your brain to do.
Wow.
And I would not go do it. The Lord told me to tell you, don't you go to that party you had plans on going to.
Mm.
And I wouldn't go. And lo and behold, I would get a phone call about the party I missed, telling me everything that happened at the party. And I'm so glad I didn't go.
Oh my God.
And so it would be stuff like that, that's what I did. Right? Because I wanted to change. I was yearning for a change. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's me.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, I'm not telling you to go and pray the same prayer because you got to be ready for that when you do.
Look, I didn't pray that prayer, but I got similar stuff. My friend, who was like my sister, would text me from Arizona and just say, don't do it. And my friend that's in Connecticut would be like, I just get a phone call out the blue. Don't do what you was about to do. Just don't. Just don't. And y'all know Quintus, she show up. So when she was showing up is when I would get those messages. And I'd be like, all right, but y'all need to get up out my business. And they had no clue, but the Lord showed them.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, like I said, if
So
you
you
want,
prayed the prayer and you didn't, but
I
you got
didn't.
similar.
No, I didn't. I wasn't thinking about praying that prayer.
right, everybody has like different experiences,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
right, that
Yeah.
lead them up to where they are now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I can honestly say, um, baby, this it's been a process for real. It's been a
It's
real
still a
good process.
process.
He has had me in preparation for a long time to get to where I am today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me tell you that because I stayed out of the church for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I was brought up in the church.
Mm-hmm.
I've been told all my life who I was in him.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But I looked at them, laughed and said, who you talking to? I know you ain't talking to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But all my life I knew.
And like Quint
Because
said, the part about me doubting myself, there'll be sometimes like when I tell my family what I did, and they be like, you so deep in God, you know all this God stuff, but yet you still doing what you're doing. And then I'll be like, and now sometimes I'll think in the back of my head, dang, well, do I even need to go to church? But then again,
Well, it ain't about you going to the church.
yeah, yeah,
It's about you knowing who you are.
yeah.
And see, the thing of it is, first of all, you got to be careful who you tell stuff to. Because when you got people who can't see where you got to go,
Mm-hmm.
they'll always hold on to what you do.
That part.
Right? And they'll throw that
That part.
at you. Right? Trust me.
I mean,
I've
because
been
that's
there.
the reaction I get every time.
Trust me,
Like,
I've been there, wrote the book, got the t-shirt. I know.
give me the T-shirt then.
You know what I'm saying? I know. I've been there. Because people knew me from before salvation.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But even in the midst of me being in the church, there were times where I still messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But I
Mm-hmm.
told you, I
Right.
got to the point where I was tired of messing up and I wanted to change. I wanted to be different.
Uh-huh.
Like I told you, one thing that my grandfather always said to me that will always resonate with me in my mind until the day I close my eyes is when he told me the change you want to see starts with you first.
That's right.
Yeah.
And because they were changes that I wanted to see, and I never saw those changes in other people, I had to start with me.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I can't see what I'm looking for in you, then I'm gonna find it in myself. And so that's where
That's
I
good.
started.
That's
I
good.
started with me, right? And I've always been odd. I have always been the oddball out. I have always stood out in the crowd. I've always not acted like everybody else. I'm always the one that don't follow the leader. I'm not one of them. Simon Says was not a good game for me to play because I would look at everybody and I wouldn't do what Simon said.
Oh boy.
Okay. And so I've not been one of them that followed the leader like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And so my teachers used to always tell me the reason why you can't follow the leader is because you are one.
Ooh.
And I never
Ooh.
paid attention to that until I got older because I understood it. I can never do that. Now, do I submit to my leader? Yes.
Yeah.
I submit to her. I have no issues with that.
Right.
Because she's a woman that walks upright and she lives what she talks.
Yeah.
Right. But I have had leaders that did not do that and I did not submit to them. You know what I'm saying? And so at the end of the day, it's not because I was trying to be what they would call insubordinate, but how do you expect me to submit to you when you the whole leader and you ain't submitting to God? I can't function. That don't work for my life. So because it didn't work for my life, I didn't do it. Right.
Period.
And so, you know, um, I
You can't tell me to do what you're not doing.
right, right. And that's always been my thing. Like you can't tell me how to go through something that you have
You ain't
not
never been through
experienced.
it.
You haven't
Listen,
experienced
I
it.
was talking about this with LHG on one of the podcasts we was talking about before we had the podcast. That was Tuesday night before we had, and we was just talking about like we can't tell people how to go through things if we never been through it.
No.
Like
And see
seriously,
when you do that, it's not because you have foreknowledge of it, because you experienced it. When you do stuff like that, it now becomes your opinion. Because you ain't never experienced it. So now you just want to tell me your opinion.
right? That
Right?
part.
You can't tell me this because it's an experience that you had. You're telling me because you from the outside looking in, you window shopping. And it's your opinion.
Period.
That's all you know. And so it's not that you try to say that to be funny to somebody to say, oh, what you think don't matter. That's not what I'm saying. But it's like you can't tell me what it's like to lose a child if you've never done it.
Come on.
You can't tell me what it's like to lose a parent if both of your parents are still living.
That's right.
There you
You
go.
can't tell me how to handle certain things in life if you have not
There you
dealt
go.
with them,
There you
right?
go.
You can tell me now. All I can tell you is, look, listen, sis. No, boo boo. I have not always been on that straight and narrow path.
There
I
you
have,
go.
been out in the streets before. And I ran real hard when I was in them. Okay. But let me tell you what the Lord did for me though. Let me tell you how he called me up out of it though.
That part.
I can do that
That part.
because I've had that experience, right? And so everybody's experience is different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's the reason why, if I know I haven't dealt with it, all I can say is, baby, I'm praying for you.
Right.
I don't know firsthand what that's like, but I'm praying for you. I know people that have. If you would like to talk to them, I can get you over to them.
Yeah.
I can get you over to them because they can tell you better than I can, baby.
Yeah.
I don't know that. I don't know how to handle that. I ain't dealt with that. And I'll tell you quickly, I'm not mother know-it-all, right? But I know enough. I know
Facts.
enough that I can help. And
Facts.
if I can't help you, trust me, I got a resource for everything. Right?
Facts.
But the ultimate source in everything is God Himself.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so
Mm-hmm.
my thing is when you dealing with something, when you going with something, before you reach out to a person, go to him first. And you will quickly find out that you don't even have to reach out to the people after you go to him first. You know what I'm saying? There's no, if you vent to God, you ain't got to vent to man.
Mm-hmm.
Because God is the one that can change it. Man gonna hear what you had to say, and in turn either become your amen corner, which ain't what you need at the moment, or they're gonna be negative Nancy.
Yeah.
Very far in between. Or if you got a person that's like me, I'm gonna tell you like the TI is, and we're gonna move on.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I hold my tongue.
What you have been doing all night, pretty much.
Right. So,
You can just, yeah.
so it's either gonna be one of the two. All right. And so a lot of times there have been times where the Lord will say, don't say nothing, just pray. Don't do nothing, just pray. I'm not telling you to move on this because that's not your assignment. And so when something is not your assignment, you gotta step back, right? And so
Yeah.
that's when I just do what I do best. I just go and intercede and keep it moving. So what tonight was basically for is to understand that, like I said, we are in the month of grace, double grace, if you ask me, right? And literally, if
Sorry.
you do what you are supposed to do
Hmm.
this month is gonna bring many miracle signs and wonders. If you do what you're supposed to do, right? And so I'm saying that because I really need you to get it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I don't want you to mess up,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so, but you have to make the decision to say how far you're willing to go to change. Can't nobody make that decision but you. And I'm gonna tell you, like I said, when it was me, I went radical with it. My very first fast was 40 days. My first fast ever was 40 days. Now,
Don't do it to
most,
yourself, Simone. Don't
yeah,
do
most people just starting out don't do that.
it. Mm-mm.
But my first fast ever was 40 days long.
Let me ask this: how often do you do it?
What? Oh, what
No.
she just said?
Mhm.
Me fasting.
Mm-mm.
No.
Oh,
What you said you
oh,
did?
um, often. It's been numerous times. So I mean, I don't necessarily have a number, but it's often because it's been at pretty much every job that I've had Well, except for my very first job ever, but every
Okay.
job that I had after that, it's been
And see, I'm gonna tell you something. It ain't been nothing but the grace of God that you ain't been nobody press charge.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
You understand?
unfortunately, this time they have pressed charges. This job has pressed charges.
So you're fighting the battle right now.
Yeah. And so this would be the perfect opportunity for you to fast. Because the only person that can undo that and stop it and dismiss it is God Himself. Even
Mm-hmm.
though you know you did it.
Yeah,
Trust me, I have watched people go in the courtroom prepared to handle whatever they had to handle. And before they could even get in the seat good, the judge called their name and dismissed the whole case.
oh, I've had that done to me before.
You know what I'm saying? And so I'm telling you, um,
I've had that done to me before.
yeah, but this time is different.
Yeah.
I feel that this time is different. I'm telling you, um, that this should be your means to say that you're not gonna do it no more. Because I'm telling you, when you lose your freedom, it ain't nothing like it. It changes your mindset with a lot of stuff, and not always for the better. Okay, all right. So get with us, or definitely get with me after the show is over. Um, I'm gonna give you some homework to do, and it's up to you if you do it. But like I said, you got to the fourth Monday. All right.
Hmm.
So for our lovely supporters and constituents,
And
we want to
speaking of,
say, go
okay,
ahead.
I'm gonna let you finish.
Oh, go ahead.
And speaking of fasting, I was wondering if I could, like you say, get with you and get with the both of you guys, and you guys, teach me and help me with that.
Not a problem.
Mm-hmm. That's fine.
Not a problem.
Thank you.
So to our wonderful supporters and constituents, we are not going to make announcements tonight. So, but we love you all. We thank you guys for always supporting. We thank you guys for always being who you are. Understand that we love you all to live. We love you to life and live on purpose every day and make it count. All right. So we will see y'all again on Thursday. Prayerfully, we can do some Q&A. I know
Yeah,
we ain't been able to do that the last couple Thursdays because it has been hectic, y'all.
it
So
has been.
pray for us because we need it. All right. But it has been hectic just because life is moving and we moving with life. All right. But in a
Love
good
you
way.
guys.
In a good way. So we love all of you guys and see y'all on Thursday night. Don't go
Good
nowhere. Simone, stay right there.
Oh, okay.